So I got a question that says, maybe you have a video on this or maybe not, but the girls that I attract always seem to have a boyfriend. Now there's that saying that a woman is never truly single. So then what am I that dude? Am I the dude to go for? Is it an attention thing? Honestly, most women that are telling you that they have a boyfriend are probably single and just don't want to date you. And here's the thing, guy, you can sit there and be butthurt about it all day, but I don't tend to like to go back and forth about stuff. Like let's say, for example, I talk to a woman and she says, and I say, hey, I want to take you out of this and that. And she's like, oh, but I have a boyfriend. Let's say it's not true, right? Am I going to try to fight somebody that is actively not trying to see me? Like, it's a waste of my time. Or am I going to sit there and try to convince her that she should date me up so that way she'll suddenly realize, oh, she does like me. And then she's going to say, oh, I was lying all the time with the boyfriend. Because now I don't know if she was lying about having a boyfriend or not having a boyfriend. And I am not for mixed signals. I'm not for miscommunication. So if I talk to a girl, she's like, I have a boyfriend, I leave it alone. Now, if the next dude comes up to her and he's talking that game and he's able to get her, then that still means that she wasn't interested in me. Why am I going to try to fight to convince her to like me? Like, there's no sense in that exercise, you know? So again, whether she has a boyfriend or not, if she says she has a boyfriend, it's a high indicator that she's probably not interested in that moment. Now, she might come back to you later on and say, hey, so me and my boyfriend broke up. Oh my God. So I guess then you'll know, oh, she's coming to me to tell me that she doesn't have a boyfriend now. That must mean that she likes me. We can proceed accordingly. All right. But yeah, like, don't worry about that. Like, again, if she's saying she's the boyfriend, why are you trying to fight it? You know? Let's see. So he says the boyfriend thing is true because I see them or it's on social media. Even this married girl that goes to the gym will always come talk to me when he's not there. Yeah, so to that I say, well, I'll get into that because there's actually a parallel question. I don't think it's your question, but there's another question on here that's kind of similar to that. Because this guy over here asked, he said, I'm a teacher. I've been working at a school for 2 years now. There's an IT teacher woman at the age of 40, married. I'm 36. During teaching meetings, she started to notice me more, and I felt that we started to establish a connection. She tested me indirectly while she was talking to another tutor about a student, calling him a fool, stupid fool. Here I know for sure emphasis was done on me. I was standing close to them and looking at lessons timetable. I showed a slow, subtle smile and confidently went on my way. Another day when I came in a room for a meeting, she was sitting at a library talking to a library woman worker. I said hi and started to go to the hall, but this woman teacher said, come here. This was for the first time. She was not wearing any makeup at all. And later when sitting on my right, she was throwing glances at me. We felt a connection and I want her. What could this mean? Well, for starters, like, this is where guys like, it's good to have confidence, but I think also sometimes guys project things like he's saying, oh, she was staring at me, so that must be a thing. Or, oh, she talked to me a certain way, and so it must be. Guys, women are just nice. And so some women are being nice to you because they're nice and they don't like to start fights and they want people to like them just on a friendship level. And they don't want to have anybody have any animosity towards them. So there are some women that have boyfriends or that are married that will also be nice to you because they're just nice people. Like, women don't get married and just suddenly act like a-holes to everybody, you know? And women feel fine being nice to other women, and other women don't take it as like, this girl's hitting on me. But because as guys, we don't typically tend to be nice to women unless you're trying to get with them. And so we project that onto them. Oh, she's glancing at me. Oh, she's looking. It must mean that she likes me all of a sudden. That's not typically the case. But on the off chance that it was the case, I'm not in the habit of trying to help guys get married women. Like, unless she's separated and actively going through divorce and has put the paperwork through, you have no business trying to talk to a married woman. Because here's the thing, if she is willing to cheat on her spouse for you, then when you get with her, she is also willing to do the same thing to you, because karma is a B-I-B-I. So if she happens to have a boyfriend or she mentions it, then at that point, the game's over. You just say, great, okay, well, you know, if that happens to change up, then hit me up and let me know. And that's it. And then you leave it alone and you go after some of the other hundreds, if not thousands of single women that are out there that at some point will date you. Like, that's really it. Because, like, again, I'm not in the habit of trying to convince guys to try to fight a woman's ex or current boyfriend off to date him. Like, have more confidence that you can find other women that are single that will like you for you, you know? Let's see, comment in the chat here says, the girl from my run club who flaked on me a few months ago texted me this past weekend and again today. What the heck, man? Oh man, I don't know if I answered that question last week, but yeah. So he had a date that he had set up with this girl from the running club, and then the day of, like, she didn't show up, right? And so now he's saying that this girl who flaked. So what I'm guessing that means that when you saw her, you did not bring it up. You didn't show any sign of being butthurt by it, which is great. Because I talk about that all the time. Like, sometimes women just want to make sure that you're not going to be overbearing if they happen to go away. And women, I visited a female friend of mine, came from out of town today. She's in town for the week for an event. And so we got to kind of reconnect and talk and chat at lunch. And she was talking about how, like, she had some dude for like a good 6 months that was like stalking after her because she had rejected him. Like, they went on a date and then she was like, you know, you seem kind of like you're falling off a bit. So I don't think we should see each other anymore. And then started mass texting her and saying things like, you know, oh, when I see you, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z and whatever. And like the cops wouldn't stop him because, like, oh, he hadn't hurt her yet. And so it's like, these are situations that women go through to where it's like that situation happens. And then the next guy she goes to, she now has to test him out because the last guy messed up, you know? And so I'm not saying this would happen here. I'm just giving you the idea of, like, sometimes subconsciously women do these things because it's like, okay, if I flake on him, I see him at the run club all the time. If I flake on him, is he going to like weird out on me? Is he going to start trying to like bring harm to me? Like, you know, maybe if I just chill back and see what happens, what's going on. So if you didn't overreact, good. Because now she feels like, okay, he's not going to like do any major harm if I act like an asshole, but like, I don't want to be an asshole. So now you're seeing her at the club and she's texting you. So I always tell guys this, is that I think if you ask a woman out and she flakes, to me, that's a big indicator that there might not be as much interest there as anticipated. But what the heck? I always say, try to ask out twice just to verify. So you got the flake the first time. I'd say maybe wait another week or so and then try to ask her out again and say, hey, you know, let's try to meet up at this time. But let me know what day and time will effectively work for you. Like, you can say, I'm free like this Tuesday and Wednesday, anytime after 5 o'clock. Let me know what works for you. And then wait and see if she sets a date. Okay, let's do Tuesday at like 6 o'clock. You can say, okay, great. I will see you there on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And then you just show up. Now, at this point, one or two things will happen. Either she'll show up for the date and you'll know that first time was a fluke. You have a great time. Or she will flake again. At this point, you know to never ask her out again. And if she happens to try to ask you out, then this is why I take from Corey Wayne stuff where you, unless she meets you at your house to make a meal, like, don't do that. Like, don't let her set up a date where you got to spend money after she done flaked twice, you know? But yeah, like, this is why I tell you guys, like, if a woman flakes on you or starts ghosting you and you just kind of back off, you will find that women of their own accord will come back to you and start being like, oh, my bad, or hey, what's up? Or they'll text you as if nothing happened because they're wanting to not bring up the past and bring up any bad things that they may have done. Now, that could totally annoy you. I totally get it. And that's to say, you don't have to respond to those texts. Now, you could very well just say, I didn't like being flaked on, so I'm out. You could do that. Like, that's totally fine. But if you're thinking you may want to possibly see if there's something there, ask her out one more time and see how that situation goes. If she flakes, don't reach out to her again. You'll still see her at running club. So again, no need to bring up a running club like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings, what the freak? But just don't ask her out anymore. Like, it really is that simple.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-class man. You a high-class man. You a